Shalom, shalom, shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises, all honor, all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash, and a double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Peace and salutation to the elect men who's pushing this word throughout the four corners of the earth. I say shalom to all the sisters out there who's just sitting back, paying attention, listening, and learning in silence. I say shalom. I wanted to get into a lesson today, and the name of this lesson is called Free Speech Isn't Free Anymore. It comes with a price. And we know that the price that the prophets are going to pay for speaking this truth, a lot of them is going to be thrown into prison. A lot of us are going to be beheaded. And this is pretty much, the faith for a lot of us who's pushing this word, this truth, this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding throughout the four corners of the earth. Because the scriptures say that the servant is not greater than the master. And we know that Yahushua went through the same thing. In fact, the disciples, a lot of them went through the same things because they were speaking the truth. And the truth, it hurts, it cuts a lot of these wicked people in this society. So what are they doing? They're changing times and laws. Why? So that we can speak about it. But we will never stop talking about it because it is our duty. It is our job to go out there on the highways and byways and prophesy and teach our people who they are and prophesy the downfall of this wicked society. Right? But without further ado, I wanted to get into a precept or a couple precepts. The first precept, I want to get Amos 8 and verse 11. It says, Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. And this right here is a prophecy. This is going to happen. And we can see it happening in today's day because these scriptures is real. It's a live document. So these prophecies come to life. And sitting here today, we can see how these prophecies are coming to light. Let me go into a video real quick just to show you how these prophecies are coming to light. So this is the UK right here.
This is not a law-free zone. And I think that's clear from the prosecutions and sentencing. Today we're due sentencing for online behaviour. That's a reminder to everyone that whether you're directly involved or whether you're remotely involved, you're culpable and you will be put before the courts if you've broken the law. I do agree that we're going to have to look more broadly at social media after this disorder.
So as we can see in England right now, pretty much all over Europe, where they have all these protests, these riots, these, I would say, civil war going on between the people and mostly so the white people in Europe, in England, where they feel like the refugees are coming in and taking away the benefits that they're supposed to have. So they're now fighting and trying to harm and burning down these buildings where these refugees are just chilling, And I think the reason why these things are happening is not because of the refugees, it's because of the government. The government is purposely opening the borders and letting these people in because they want to create a rift between both people so that they can have pretty much a civil war, you know? pretty much create the problem and then come with a solution, right? And then now the solution is going to be shut down social media, right? Because there's now going to be misinformation, disinformation. There's going to be people inciting riots on social media. So what are they doing? They're using this as a scapegoat so that they can control social media, right? Now, I want to get into Isaiah 29 and verse 20. It says, "For the terrible one is brought to naught, and the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off." Right? We know who the scorner is. We know who the terrible one is that's brought to naught. This is Esau Edom right here, right? The white man. Verse 21, that make a man an offender for a word. So what you say on social media is not going to be free speech anymore, right? Because you're not going to be allowed to say what you want to say. You're not going to be allowed to post what you want to post, right? Because why? Now you have to be mindful, because the beast is going to come after you when you make such posts. If you repost anything to do with the riot, inciting a riot, speaking against or speaking for the riot, speaking up for Palestinians, that's going to be considered hate speech, inciting riots. So they're going to come for you for that, right? That make, verse 21, that make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate. And we know who are the ones who are reproving in the gate, right? Who's trying to correct this wicked system, who's calling out their wicked lifestyle. You know, men having sex with men, men having sex with little boys, you know, pedophilia, you know, men having sex with married women having sex with multiple men, right? Eating all different type of abominable things. Like, we're the ones who is reproving at the gate. We're the ones who's telling you people that these things are wicked, right? But just like back in the day when Yahushua was telling you that these things were wicked, you guys hated him. The same thing with the prophets and the apostles all the way from them times. You know, you hated when the truth came out because the truth hurt you, it cut you, you know, and because you guys want to continue in your wickedness, you guys destroyed and killed the prophets, right? And it reads, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught, right? And who are the just? We are the just. The Israelites are the just. The elect are the just, right? Let me jump into another video real quick. And this one is about Canada and what Canada is doing right now.
Well, stop me if you've heard this before. Government's cracking down on social media posts and making arrests. Well, yes, we've heard about it happening, of course, in the UK and parts of Europe. And now it is coming to Canada, where we're seeing the Royal Canadian Mounted Police arresting social media users for discriminatory and racially offensive posts. Yes, Canada now will arrest you over your social media posts. Let's dive more deeply into the tyranny that is Trudeau's government up there in Canada with David Creighton, journalist, independent journalist, who writes.
So as we can see, Canada has already started. You know, it started in Europe, you know, in England, and Canada is now enforcing a law that's not even out yet. They say that this law is supposed to be passed next year. The law is not out yet, but Canada is already arresting people and charging them for something so simple as a social media post, right? So what's going to happen when we, the men of the Lord, is on the highways and byways teaching, speaking about the downfall of this wicked kingdom and what is going to happen to this kingdom, right? So sooner than later, you know, the word is going to become, there's going to be a famine of the word. We won't be able to go on the highways and the byways and teach anymore, right? We won't be able to come on the unicorn, which is the internet, and teach anymore, because it's going to be forbidden, right? It's going to be forbidden. Let me jump into another precept, Revelation 2 and verse 11. It says, he that hath an ear, actually, no, Daniel 7 and verse 25. And it reads, and he shall speak great words against the Most High. We see that happening right now, right? These wicked people, Esau, Edom, and the white man, speaking against the Most High, talking about they are God and that God is dead, There's no such thing as a God beyond the clouds. We see this happening right now. And shall wear out the saints of the Most High. And who are the saints of the Most High? We, the Israelites, are the saints of the Most High. We are. And as you can look at us, we're worn out, man. We're tore down, we're popped down, we're broken, right? But not because we're popped down and we're broken, we're going to stop teaching and preaching this ministry. We're going to go out there in the highways and byways, even when we're sick on one leg, in a wheelchair, one arm. We're going to go out there and prophesy the downfall of this wicked kingdom and think to change times and laws, which is what we see right now. England has just changed their laws in last year in 2023 in November. Canada is about to change their laws right now. In fact, Europe, all across Europe, they have changed the laws, right? Why? To satisfy their need, to prevent us, from going on the internet and post what we want to post, say what we want to say. Clearly, a famine of this word is coming. A famine of the truth is coming. You won't be hearing or seeing the prophets on the highways and the byways soon. We won't be able to go on the internet and prophesy and make these videos in the coming future. And this reads, and they shall be given into his hands until a time and times and the dividing of times, right? Let me jump into an article real quick. I want to read this article, but not all of it. I just want to get into some parts of it, right? Let's go with, start right here. The Act's stringent regulation and substantial financial penalties for not removing illegal content could inadvertently lead to the suppression of lawful speech. In the realm of journalism, criminal defamation laws pose a significant threat. Cases like Italian reporter Roberto Saviano, penalized for criticizing Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, and Chilean editor Felipe Soto, reprimanded for an article criticizing a public official, highlighted the risk for journalists and critics in democratic states. In Denmark, Denmark's reintroduction of a blasphemy ban, unenforced since 1946 and abolished in 2017, is another stark reminder that citizens of open democracy cannot take well-established speech protection for granted, which we used to take for granted, right? The right to protest has also been curtailed in the context of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. France and Germany have imposed broad bans on pro-Palestinian demonstrations, citing hate speech and public order concerns. Artistic freedom is not immune either, as seen in South Korea, where a government body canceled a sensitive exhibition in the national parliament due to an unflattering portrayal of the country's president. The concerns over mis- and disinformation have prompted the Australian government to propose a sweeping misinformation bill that critics say will have far-reaching consequences for freedom of expression down under. So we know what happened in Australia in 2020, 2021, 2022 with the CVID. We know how totalitarian, how the government and their totalitarian system treated the people. We know how draconian their laws were during that time. We know what they did, right? So because we know how Australia handled all of the COVID pandemic, We know once this is implemented in Australia, it's game over, right? It's game over. But let me get back into a precept. This is Revelation 2 and verse 11. It says, he that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. And what churches? It's not talking about these buildings where these people go and talk about praise ye the Lord, hallelujah. Nah, this is speaking about the Israelites, because we are the churches, right? He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death. So he that overcometh what? What is there to overcome? Again, you Christians are talking about you save. What have you overcame? You haven't overcome nothing, right? The tribulation that we have to overcome is coming. Jacob's trouble is coming. And when it comes, it's going to come with full force. He that overcometh Jacob's trouble shall not be hurt of the second death. And what is the second death? The second death is these nuclear missiles that's coming. Fire and brimstone, right? That's what's coming. That's the second death, right? So he that overcometh Jacob's trouble shall not be hurt of the second death, the nuclear missile, right? So just know that once you take the mark of the beast, it's game over for you. You're going to be missile food, right? You're going to be a sacrifice in Bozrah. That's what you're going to be, right? And this is Matthew. I'm going to start at 20. And this is my final precept. Matthew 24 and verse 20. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day, right? For then, this is talking about Jacob's trouble right here. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. So this great tribulation that's coming, it's not here yet, but it's starting. It's like it's boiling up, right? It's coming, right? Verse 22, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened, right? So the Most High is going to protect his elect during this time, and he's going to shorten those days for the elect's sake, because guess what? This man is coming down with anger, with fierce wrath. He's going to come, he's going to kill, and he's going to be destroying everything, right? So the Most High is saying, hey, you know what? Let me shorten these days, because I need my people out of there before this madman come with the hammer, right? And verse 23, then if any man shall say, lo, unto you, lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not, right? For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. And there's a lot of elect men out there right now in a lot of these waste camps who's listening to a bag of foolishness, talking about we are not Hebrews, that sin is the mark of the beast. Like you think sin in your forehead and you do sin with your right hand. Yo, what kind of madness is that? The scripture says sin, every man. So we are born in sin and Satan iniquity. That means that every one of us would have the mark of the beast already. Because we have been sinning. Every day you wake up, you sin. Right? Every day you wake up, you sin. And for you people who are speaking and talking about we are not Hebrews, we are Hebrews. And that is a fact. Right? In fact, let me get a precept and hand it off with that real quick. First, let me get Genesis 14 and 13. And it reads, actually, let me grab it on this. Genesis 14 and 13. And there came one that had escaped and told Abram, this is when before Abram's name was changed to Abraham. It says, and there came one that had escaped and told Abram the Hebrew. So this is specifically telling you that Abram is an Hebrew, right? For he dwelt in the plain of Mamre. So this scripture is specifically telling you that Abraham is a Hebrew, right? Now, I want to also get into another one. One sec. This is Philippians 3:5. Philippians 3 and verse 5. It says, circumcised the 8th day of the stock of Israel, right? Of the tribe of Benjamin, and Hebrew of the Hebrews. So this specifically is telling you that Israel, we are Israelites, because the stock of Israel means that we're Israelites. Tribe of Benjamin, I am from the tribe of Benjamin for sure. I'm Jamaican, right? And Hebrew, so it's specifically telling you that this person that is speaking about is of the Benjamin tribe and is a Hebrew right here. And I can go more into it. Let me go into, I think it's 2 Corinthians. Let me grab that real quick. 2 Corinthians. Oh, 1 second, 1 second. Second Corinthians 11 and second. All right, this should be it. This is 2 Corinthians 11 and verse 22. And this is Paul speaking. And it reads, are they Hebrews? So he's asking them if they are Hebrews. And he's telling them, so am I. So he's telling them that he's also an Hebrew. Are they Israelites? Yes. He's asking them if they're Israelites. So this is also a separate entity. Hebrews and Israelites, right? So am I. Are they the seed of Abraham? So am I. So he's telling you from the seed of Abraham all the way down, we are Hebrew Israelites, right? We are Hebrew Israelites. So these camps who are speaking and talking about we are not Hebrews, come on, man. You have lost a couple bolts in the head, right? Your oil has been drained out. You have no more oil in you, right? But hey, you know what? In these times, the scriptures are just being fulfilled because we need false prophets out there. We need you guys out there to do what you're doing. You're in your lot to do what you have to do, right? But yeah, man, that's it. And with that, I want to give all praises, all honor, all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash, and a double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutation to the elect men who's pushing this word throughout the four corners of the earth. And again, I say Shalom.